phone rang, cutting off sleep. Bring, bring, bring. That repetitive shrill pierced the silence. What time is it? I rolled over to see the red eyes of the digital alarm clock on the nightstand staring back at me. When a phone rings in the middle of the night, it could only mean one thing. Something bad happened. I sat up and I could smell it before I could see it. Fire. Right at that moment, I hear my mom's voice, "Mo, get up!" The corner bodega was on fire. My bedroom sat just 3 short floors above that blaze. At 12 years old, I didn't even like lighting a match. So knowing that the fire was creeping up to our floor had me shook. But my mom, she was more scared than I was. And I knew I had to put it together. So step by step, I instructed her, "Ma, put on your pants, your culo's hanging out. Unlock the gate. Yes, Ma, move the latch, slide it to the right. Please, Ma, don't cry. Let's go." Eventually, we made it down that fire escape and into the safety of the crisp, chilly Bronx night. I remember it because we didn't even have time to grab jackets. A few hours later, I sat in my desk in my classroom of my very white school. My mother always told me never air your dirty laundry in public. So I kept quiet like a diary holding on to secrets. I remember I sat in class sniffing at the lapels of the navy blue blazer that I wore as part of my school uniform. Could they smell me? Had the smell of smoke and fire seeped its way into the fabric of my clothes, or worse yet, into my pores? I looked around. I guess not, because everybody was in their own world. No one suspected a thing. I watched my classmates move around with such ease, and I wanted to be just like them. So I tried. On weekends, I spent time in their neighborhoods. I looked for the ease that they had. Could I find it? Where was it? I begged my mom to buy me a pair of pants called Z Cavaricci. Let me just tell you, thick thighs and a big ass should never wear from pleated pants. Yet here I was. On Sunday nights, I would stare in the mirror trying to tease my bangs so I could look just like them. My dad would push open the door of the bathroom and the mist of hairspray was so thick, you needed a mask to get inside. And this was back before when we actually needed masks. I desperately wanted to fit in. I wanted the ease where my toughest choice was Aquanet Stronghold or Aquanet Extra Hold hairspray, and that's it. Little did I realize that I wasn't just running away from the fire at 12 years old, but I was running away from all the parts of me that make me me. Living with dual identities is exhausting. I felt like Clark Kent stepping into the phone booth and switching into my identity of becoming Superman. Door knocking earrings and Timbs on my feet on the block, red plaid skirt and leather shoes at school. Hip hop at home, rock music with them, oscillating between these two worlds over and over, and it lasted through college and well into my start in corporate America. When my home friends, that's what I call the people I grew up with, when my home friends would call me at work to leave me a voicemail, this is what they heard. "You've reached Monica. I'm unable to answer the phone right now." And their responses would be like, "Who the fuck is that? Okay, corporate Monica, we see you." But they didn't understand. They hadn't spent time in these white worlds the way that I had. They didn't know how hard it was to assimilate. And let me tell you, they had no idea about that ease. The things you do to try to fit in. Do you know that I tried to tap dance? This is not a metaphor. I legit tried to tap dance, and I'm not a dancer. I bought a Groupon with a bunch of other coworkers for 10 tap dancing classes. Tap dancing is hard. Did you know? It was about 2 classes and 2,000 shuffle steps later when I was done. This wasn't for me. I couldn't perform anymore. I realized that the ease that I wanted, the ease that I spent my whole life searching for, was to show up in the world as my full self, not fragments of it. My whole life up until that point was this or that, either or, brown or white. But in reality, there are more than two choices to be made. And I'm selecting all of the above. I was wrong that day in 7th grade. The fire did seep into my pores. The embers from that night were never fully extinguished because they burn inside of me. If you squint, you can see flickers in the stories that I share and in the communities I build where the only requirement is to show up unapologetically you. If the difference between well, then consider me shining. Thank you. Peace.
Hey!
Yes!
So good.